Will Girling is the EF Pro Cycling nutritionist and sports performance expert. In this video, he's going to go over 10 supplements that actually work and he uses with his athletes.
Number 1, vitamin D3. Its primary functions is to help with your immunity and with bone density. And you only really get it from daylight. You don't get it from food really. There are some sources you can get from food, but it's such minor amounts, it will not be enough to give you the amount that you need. So unless you're getting 15 minutes at least of direct sunlight every day, so maybe if you're in America, in LA, then you might be okay. But if you're here in the UK and it's overcast all the time and you're wearing long sleeves and things like this, because it obviously needs to be exposed to your skin, can't be wearing sun cream either because that will block those UV rays, then it is worth supplementing. And I recommend having around 1,000 international units or 25 micrograms a day is a safe amount to take on a daily basis year round. Now, if you do get bloods done, you can obviously speak to your doctor or advisor and they can give you the recommendation that you should have. It is worth noting that generally, the darker your skin tone is, the less you're gonna absorb from the sun, so it is worth noting that and maybe supplementing more if you need. Supplement number 2 is omega-3. Omega-3 is such a great supplement. It supports and lowers risk of heart disease and cardiovascular disease. It is the main way to get HDL, which is your healthy cholesterol, into the body. Comes from oily fish, but I doubt you're probably having enough through your week to get sufficient amounts. We also know that it supports performance and recovery, and ideal amounts in high exercises is having around anywhere between, 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of EPA, which is a part of omega-3. So if you look at the packet, you'll be able to see how much you're getting from the supplement that you have. Number 3, creatine. The most scientifically researched sports supplement that you can get out there. It is also probably one of the cheapest and is going to be, as I said, the most effective. So most bang for your buck, really. You only need to get creatine monohydrate. Any other format of creatine is not as good, so it's not worth getting, and it's also typically more expensive. Taking anywhere between 3 to 5 grams a day will give you an improvement in performance, both in your 10-second power output and peak power output. It improve your recovery between efforts, recovery between sessions. It will also help with the potential of lean muscle gain. It will help with preservation of lean muscle mass in a calorie deficit. It is a great supplement to take. I do recommend it. In terms of potential weight gain, which is going to be the biggest thing that people worry about, especially for cyclists, it is such a minor amount. It will be a percentage of your body mass, essentially. So the bigger you are, the slightly more water you will pull into the muscle, and the smaller you are, the less you'll pull in. So we have looked at certain research papers, and it does show that the performance benefits of it outweigh potential weight gain. Supplement number 4 is BetaAnaline. BetaAnaline is a lactate buffer that does give you tingles. It gives you something called paresthesia, but when you take it, if you take it without a meal in a high dose, it gives you a bit of tingling and itchiness around your ears, hands, neck, areas like this. But if you take it with a meal, it should lower it, subside it, and if you spread it through the day, the ideal amount to take is 2 grams 3 times a day. So just take it with breakfast, lunch, and dinner over the loading period, which is 4 to 6 weeks. But what does it do? It is a lactate buffer. It will improve your performance in effort ranges between kind of 1 and 5 minutes. And essentially, as it says in the tin, will help you buffer that lactate and help you push a bit harder for a bit longer. It will then also help you get rid of that lactate a bit quicker in between those efforts so you can repeat efforts better and harder, more consistently. Number 5 is a big one. It is culture in cycling. It's caffeine. And caffeine is one of the greatest performance enhancing supplements you can have. It was banned for a while at the Olympics, in fact. So, but obviously not anymore. It is readily available. It's very accessible, very cheap. You can get it in the forms of pills from Pro Plus to batch tested versions from places like Healthspan Elite and Whey Protein or whatever else. Or you could get it just from your coffee. It's around 75 milligrams per espresso shot, though there was research to show that that varies wildly between different coffee shops and different types of coffee brands. And of course, you can get it from things like Red Bull Monster, which is 150 milligrams per Monster or 75 milligrams per Red Bull, that's 330 mils. So great sources, great places to get it. We know that you want around 3 milligrams per kilogram body weight minimum to enhance performance, going all the way up to 6 milligrams. So have a play around with it. Make sure you trial it before you do a race, because it could give you like quite heart flutters, palpitations, things like this. So do try it out first. Timing wise, it takes an hour for it to peak in the blood. So if you want to time that around your event, then that's when I would do it. There are alternatives which I do recommend, like caffeine chewing gum, also provided by Healthspan Elite. And that is 100 milligram chewing gum, but it gets into the system quicker and exits the system quicker. So coffee will stay in there for around 6 hours, and this will stay in there significantly less. I think it's around 3 to 4 hours. So if you do have a late race, like a crit series or your club 10s in the weekday, then it's an ideal option to take. Number 6 is sodium bicarbonate. Now this is one that you definitely need to practice. If you do get the dosages wrong, you can have a poor experience on the toilet, and it could be a poor experience on the bike. So do try it out, but it is very proven to enhance performance. It is another lactate buffer like BetaAnaline, and they do work at separate points. One works intracellular, so obviously in the cell, and the other one works extracellular on the outside of the cell. So combining the two together is a great way to get the best lactate buffering stack that you can do. You take it acutely before the effort or the session that you're doing, and will once again improve your performance in efforts that do require lactate, and will help with the removal and the buffering of it. There are options out there now like Morton's bicarb system, which is designed as a slow, prolonged release of sodium bicarbonate, which is targeted at long duration races for repeated efforts. It is a great product, but it is very expensive. So if you are gonna take it, I would just buy one box, which I believe is 4 sachets, and I would trial it a couple of times in events or like B races or training, and then save the other ones for those key races. Dosage of sodium bicarbonate is 0.3 milligrams per kilogram body weight. So typically you'll be hitting anywhere between kind of 15 and 22 grams of sodium bicarbonate. You can get it in capsules from places like 6D, or you can just use standard sodium bicarbonate mixed into a drink. I do recommend getting capsules though. It will be easier and more palatable to consume. Number 7, it's one of my personal favorites. It's actually something called a zinc defense lozenge. And a zinc defense lozenge has been shown that if you consume this particular type of zinc and you suck on it in the mouth, it allows you to shorten or stop the incidence of colds. So if you start to feel the beginning of a cold, like an itchy throat, bit of a sniffle, if you start consuming these lozenges, you can nip that in the bud and not get a cold. Or if you do get sick and you do have a cold, continue to take them for up to 5 days, and it will shorten the duration of that cold as well.
You found a cure for the common cold.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't understand why this isn't like bigger, because it's like there's literally great papers showing it has an effect and it does shorten it. Number 8. Oh, how many fingers? Number 8, which is probiotics. Probiotics are great for gut health. I think many people know that, and it is to support increasing the amount of cultures that are found within the intestine. Now, the recommendation and where a lot of the research shows is around 20 billion cultures, and at least 4 different strains will support in the best way, and has shown that it reduces the incidence of GI distress both in running and in cycling. So if you are getting GI distress and you have tried all these other things about getting the right product, gut training, and having the right amounts per hour, and you're still getting issues, then trying something like this can reduce the incidence of GI distress. It will also help with your immunity overall and general health. Supplement number 9, I can count, is whey protein. It is the classic whey protein. And the main thing here is it's not doing outlandish things that are going to massively support performance, but ultimately we know that getting sufficient protein intakes every day will support muscle recovery and adaptation to exercise. And if you are struggling to get sufficient protein in, which ideal amounts are around 2 grams per kilogram body weight for high exercising individuals or people that are in a calorie deficit, that may be a challenge. So using whey protein can be a great source to increase your protein intake per day and allow you to achieve those higher amounts. It can also be useful post-race, post-particularly hard ride to improve recovery. But if you're going to have a meal with sufficient protein in anyway, it won't do significant differences. The main thing is getting sufficient protein in every day. Number 10. Now this supplement isn't something that we've used within the team, but is something that I do really recommend for a lot of athletes and a lot of people in high stress environments, which is very common nowadays, and it is ashwaganda. Ashwaganda has been shown to really improve quality of sleep, both how much deep sleep you have and duration. And in turn, what that's allowed people to see is increases in testosterone, decreases in cortisol, improvements in performance, because of course, if you improve sleep, you decrease stress hormone of cortisol, you increase testosterone. If you have more testosterone available, you'll also form more cells more easily. You'll be able to adapt to exercise more easily, which means that you will in turn get fitter quicker. So anything that can improve sleep and sleep quality is a great supplement, and ashwagandha has been shown to do that. You can get it very cheaply from quite a few different websites. The amount that you want to take is 500 milligrams a day for 12 weeks, and you want the specific variant of the KSM66. And that's my 10 top tips. I hope you enjoyed it. Use the ones that you feel are best suited for you. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on my Instagram or on my website. Links will be in the description, and I'll be happy to help.